Once again, a warm good evening to one and all present here. Today, we all have gathered here as a part of the webinar organized by the Computer Society of India Coimbatore chapter. The webinar is about SaaS, Revolutionizing IT, how cloud-based solutions are transforming businesses. So this is going to be one of the enlightening session in which people belonging to all groups, all domains, and all disciplines will be able to get a better understanding. So without further ado, let me proceed further with the agenda for today. To start with, I invite our chairman, Mr. R. Saravana Kumar, to welcome the gathering.
இனிய மாலை வணக்கம். Good evening, everyone. I am very much delighted to welcome you all to this highly anticipated webinar, SaaS Revolutionizing IT, how cloud-based solutions are transforming businesses, organized by the Computer Society of India Coimbatore chapter. As the chairman of this esteemed chapter, it is my privilege to extend a warm welcome to our distinguished speaker, Mr. Karunakaran, Associate Consultant, SaaS Integration at Revolutionizing Higher Education System, LLC, and to all our participants who have taken the time and effort to join us today. Before we dive into the session, I would also like to extend my heartfelt advance wishes to each of you on this special day as we celebrate the 77th Independence Day of our great nation. As we honor the spirit of freedom and the countless contributions of those who fought for our independence, it's also a moment to reflect on how far we have come as a nation, especially in the field of technology. Today's webinar is a testament to the continuous progress we strive for as we explore how innovations like software as a service are driving transformative changes in businesses across the globe. In the fast evolving world of technology, SaaS or software as a service has emerged as a game changer. It has not only revolutionized the way businesses operate, but also has opened up new avenues for growth, efficiency, and innovation. Today's session promises to be an enlightening exploration of how cloud-based solutions are reshaping IT and driving transformation across industries. As we dive into this topic, you will discover how SaaS is simplifying IT operations, enhancing collaboration, and ensuring robust security, all while driving unprecedented innovation. Mr. Karunakaran will also share real-world success stories and provide insights into emerging trends like AI, industry-specific solutions, and cloud security, topics that are crucial for anyone looking to stay ahead in this digital age. I encourage you all to make the most of this opportunity by engaging actively, asking questions, and sharing your thoughts. Whether you are an IT professional, a business leader, or simply curious about the future of technology, this webinar is designed to equip you with valuable insights that can shape the future of your organization. Once again, I thank you all for being here. Let us make this session a truly enriching experience. Thank you, and let's get started.
Thank you, sir. Thank you, Mr. Sharma Kumar, Chairman, CSCA Coimbatore chapter. Sir, shall
Karna,
I?
Will be Mr. Karna, please wait. Yeah. Thank you, Saravana Kumar, sir. And we are moving on to the next segment where we'll be knowing about our guest speaker of the day. And so our guest speaker, as we know, we have Mr. Karunakaran, who is here to share his knowledge and experience about the role of software as a service in our business domain. And he is actually, now I'm introducing him to the learner gathering here. So he is the associate consultant with Illusion, Bangalore, and he has consented to be the resource person for today's session, so that we all will be able to understand more from him. And to go ahead with this profile, Mr. Karunakaran Vijayaraghavan. He's a IT professional currently located in Bangalore, passionate more about full stack and problem solving. And he has worked in multiple companies starting from the grassroots level from the year 2022 onward. So he has around 12 years of experience in the IT industry at various capacities. He started off with a company as a intern for Salesforce development, and later he moved on into the career ladder as project administrator, and again as a community avenger, and then he got into a lot of other lot of other roles and responsibilities. Currently, he is with Illusion as associate consultant, and he has done his graduation in information technology from Sri Ramakrishna College of Arts and Science. Formerly, it was called as SMR College. Mr. Karunakaran, we are very privileged to have you in our midst. Now, we are eagerly waiting to hear from you. Now we can take over the session. Thank you.
Thank you, Sarvana Kumar sir and Maharajan sir, for a wonderful introduction about me. That's really a warm welcome for me. So I would like to be this session a more interactive way, so people can unmute them and they can ask more questions on what they're actually having on SaaS and what are the differentiations or things what they're actually feeling about SaaS. So it's actually an open forum, so don't hesitate and feel free to ask any sort of questions, which is around the topic of SaaS.
Sorry to interrupt. A kind request, Karunakaran, with the time, whatever we have, let us have all the questions at the end of the session so that everyone will have an opportunity to ask questions after you complete your, session. That would be helpful.
Sure, sir. Yeah.
Thank you. Yeah, thank you.
Yeah, Mr. Karunakaran, you can start the presentation now. Start and share it. Thank you.
Yeah. Oh. Yeah. I hope my screen is visible, right, sir?
Yes, it's
okay.
Coming up. Yeah.
Yes, it is visible. Thank you.
Yeah. Okay. So in today's session, I'll be going to discuss on how SaaS is actually revolutionizing in IT, like how cloud-based solutions are transforming the business. So with this topic, like as everyone would have known, like even the college student is actually known about what is SaaS, PaaS, and infrastructure as a service. So while I was actually in a college days, the people who are actually like they're actually getting to know more about cloud, that is a very limited people, right? But nowadays, like if you see, like many people would have known about what is the SaaS, right? So we are all aware about one incident that which is actually shaken the world 2 weeks prior, right? July 19th of CrowdStrike issue. So is there any connectivity between this CrowdStrike and SaaS? We will see about how actually SaaS is impacting on that place and how we can actually provide the data governance, security, and how we can harness the use of SaaS-based tools, right? So do anyone know like what is SaaS in your understanding? Okay. So yeah, sorry, please go ahead. Hello.
Sure. Hello.
Yep.
Share the one of the part of company.
Sorry, like your voice is actually not so clear, ma'am.
Ms. Gauri Priya, you can post your response in the chat window.
Yeah.
Okay, sir.
So yeah, that I'll say it after the presentation closes. So SaaS is actually a software as a service. The term is actually coined, which is transforming the way of business operations, offering a scalable and flexible as well as the cost-effective solutions that empower innovation and growth. So if you take about SaaS, so at the earlier days, like everyone was using the Gmail, right? So when you're actually say about Gmail, like before 5 to 10 years prior at all, like if Gmail is not working, then what are all the additional mediums you will be using? Any ideas on that? Because like many people would have used Yahoo Mail, and many of them would have used the Gmail, right? But now if you see, there are many alternatives are there, like Outlook is there, Google, that is the Gmail, and there are many mediums of applications are there in the market, right? So SaaS is basically which help us to deliver the product without a zero downtime. So there is no downtime will be happen. Downtime is nothing but the product will be live for 24 into 7, right? So that is actually purest form of SaaS. If actually someone is building the product, so SaaS is actually a purest form, like how you can coin, because of like if the product which is live for 24 into 7, there is no downtime at all. Even if there is any maintenance which is going at the back end, so you have to maintain that standard. It should be available within the 24/7, right? Okay. So here are some of the models and why this SaaS is actually used. So this SaaS applications can be deployed in multiple mediums like PCs, networks, and application servers, mobiles, a database, as well as in the code base. So code base in sense like even many people would have heard about the AWS services. So there is something called as serverless API concepts. So which is actually dealing about the um, that there is no any sort of local machines is required, so everything you can take care by the cloud level, right? Everything will be in VMs, I can say. So here there are some delivery models and subscription based models are there, we can discuss now. So cloud-based delivery models can be something the SaaS application which are hosted and delivered over internet, eliminating the need for on-prem software installation. See, if you see like before 10 or 20 years, like if you need to install some sort of antivirus, then you have to get it in form of CD, right? You have to get it in form of CD and you have to install it in your local machine. Then you have to provide some sort of product key and you have to install them, right? So that's how the purest way of software installation is there. And there are some piracy installation will be there. That is a kind of like you don't need any sort of pin or something. So it's always best to use the licensed versions of software in order to prevent from any sort of security risk. So when the SaaS is introduced, at that point, like everything is cloud. So you don't need to worry of like how to store this sort of storage. For example, one antivirus is actually taking an amount of like what I can tell, like around 20 to 30 GBs. Probably it won't take like that. It will take some in an MB. So in a traditional days, even that 2 or 3 MB, it's really a huge data space, right? So when the SaaS is introduced, everything is a cloud. So cloud is nothing but a group of servers or a rack of servers where you can directly host any sort of applications, and you can also deliver to your clients or customers without any sort of hassle. So just you need to pay some sort of amount for your like virtual infrastructure, which you're actually getting from the lead cloud service providers like AWS or GCP or Azure. So there are many sort of cloud providers are there in the market. So this is what the cloud-based delivery and subscription-based pricing. So there are two things, like it's a traditional concept of Java. So there is something called as messaging services. If you subscribe for one application, then you will be frequently receiving the updates, right? So that concept is actually implemented in SaaS. If you need to use any sort of cloud storage, like in the form of Google's Drive or any sort of thing, then you can directly move with this subscription based pricing. How much subscription you are paying, so based on that, your performance, your storage, and your hosting, so everything will be covers under that particular price. So you don't need to maintain all these sort of infrastructures in a physical way. So someone is actually maintaining your infrastructure, you will be just paying for them. That's it. It's something like if you need to be in apartment, like you can just pay some sort of rent or some sort of deposit or any sort of lease, and you can be stay for a more number of period, right? So that same principle which is happening on the SaaS. And automated update. So this automated update, like in traditional way, like this automated update won't happen. If some updates is actually happening, then it will take a more number of time, right? For example, like the people who are actually working professional, especially working professional, if you are in mid of something, then suddenly the window update which comes up, and it will ask you to update within today or tomorrow. Or some of the people, like they're actually pushing the update. Without this update, your software won't be in very stable manner, right? So that much development has happened, like from the past 10 to current this year. So this automated updates which help us to provide more secure, and as well as this updates is more frequent because vulnerability is getting more strong. So this automated updates actually possible in SaaS. So once if you buy some software, you don't need to worry of anything. You will be having a readily or standalone application where you will be using it. So that is how if someone is building the product, you have to deliver to them, right? Yep. And what are the benefits of SaaS? So benefits in sense, like, yeah, I already mentioned. So it actually reduces the infrastructure cost. So you don't need to have a separate hardware or software or any sort of servers. Like in the traditional days at all, like the people will be having a separate server rooms in the companies, right? So now if you see, it's not like that. Like AWS will be having the data centers which is in under ocean, and Azure also, they are actually having a separate data centers, and even Zoho is actually having a separate data center. So like the same way, there are many sort of lead cloud providers, so they're actually having a separate data centers, right? So you just paying some sort of amount, very least amount, and you will be getting that. So again, it will depends upon how much product you're actually getting. So for example, if you are buying any sort of ERP tools for your organization, then it will actually cost you more higher, because like it will comprises of 40 to 50 integrations. So 50 integration in sense 50 third-party software you will be integrated with your applications, right? So that everything will be possible under SaaS. And scalability and flexibility. So how many of you experience this? Like in the previous days, if if the server is actually receiving a more number of requests, then it will throw that the server is actually crashed, or temporary error, or 404 or 502, right? So there are many sort of web errors which you have seen in the traditional days. But when this SaaS is introduced, so you won't be seeing any sort of things, because there is something called as scalability. It means there will be a virtual server which will take a copy of another server or another virtual infrastructure, right? So that is called as scalability. And flexibility. So let me tell you about that. So at the Diwali time, if you're purchasing something on the Amazon or Flipkart, there will be a huge number of requests, or a huge number of traffic will go, right? So at that point, like you will feel, so I need to buy this product, but the website is very slow. So how I can able to buy that product, right? In that case, like there comes the scalability as well as the flexibility. So like the people who are actually Flipkart in sense, like if what was their cloud CSPs are there, like cloud service providers are there, so they will talk with them, and they will just get in check with their SLAs, service level agreement, which is to be as a important process on SaaS deals. So based on that, they can able to work on the scalability. So scalability is not like a simple thing. So based on each instances, it will actually charges you more, but your product will be a standard one. There is no downtime at all. So that's all about scalability. and flexibility. So based on the business needs and business changes, you can just flexible the things, right? So there will be no standard principle or standard procedures which is maintained. You don't need to worry of the things like what kind of data you're actually having. That doesn't matter in SaaS. So based on that, the CSPs will take care of it, and they will do some sort of integrations, and they will push your on-prem data into cloud and improve collaborations. So how many of you see, I'm not sure. So there is something called as Postman API application. It's just a third-party API endpoint testing. So with that, like, you can create some sort of collections and environment in it, and you can send the request and response. You can able to receive it. So this part, like, you will be invite your peer workers or your teammates to we get collaborated in your space, and both of them work on same applications and same API request or things. So it is actually not possible in the traditional approach. If you need to do something, you have to take your laptop to your friend's place and you have to work on there. But due to the SaaS, like, you don't need to worry of these things, because collaboration is the most important benefit on the SaaS. Like whoever, like any number of people, that doesn't matter. Like, you can collaborate with them, and you can share your data with those people, and they can work. So the best example I can say, like, Google Sheets and Microsoft Excel web versions, right? So yeah. And if you see, like, many of the places, like, the situation would have changed, right? So many of the companies, they're actually offering work from office as well as the work from home. So if it is mostly in a remote, so if you would like to communicate with the people who are sitting outside of the country, right? So that is actually possible with the help of SaaS. Like, so you don't need to worry of the changes which is performed by him. So he can work on your space, and he can make changes, and he can show the progress, and you can also put your progress on there, right? Progress in sense, what I mean, like, creating some sort of applications by doing some sort of collaboration. So you can also reduce your workloads because of these collaborations, right? And key SaaS trends. So rise of vertical SaaS, artificial intelligence and machine learning, that is actually a groundbreaking technology which is going on the market. And many people would have moved with this artificial intelligence, machine learning, how it could be embedded with the cloud to make the things to be happen, right? So, yeah. So my screen is visible. Hello.
Yeah, very much, very much. Please proceed.
Yeah, sure. So
Yes, sir.
yeah. Increased emphasis on security and compliance. So this is the key SaaS trends. So if we little dig deeper, so specialized SaaS solutions are emerging to the unique needs and specific industries, driving tailored functionality and improved workflows. So how many of the people would have come across the terms like workflows and streamlined process, tailored functionality? You can unmute and you can tell. I was really interested to hear from the people, especially who are actually pursuing a college, because, like, that is an advanced thing which is used in the technology. Okay. So like a vertical of SaaS in sense, like, based on your needs, you can just change the SaaS technology trends. So for example, if you're buying some sort of instance, like, I can say 2 or 3 instance. So if you need the 2 instance, then you can buy it. And if I need, if there is no sales or something which is not happening, in that case, like, you can reduce the infrastructure cost, and you can reduce them to 1 instance, and within that 1 instance, you can also able to manage your business. So that is what actually this vertical rise of vertical SaaS and improved workflow. So, like, you don't need to worry of the integration part as well as the data transforming or data transfer. So once, if workflow is actually automated, workflow is nothing but an automated process which will happens in a sequential manner, right? So there are many sort of workflows are available in the SaaS world. I can tell, like, process maker, like that. There are many sort of workflows are available. In fact, UiPath is an automation tool that is also a kind of workflow. And even if you see in Salesforce, they're actually offering a workflows, and SAP system, they're actually offering a workflow. So this workflow actually help us you to manage your business in more streamlined way. Everything will be in a unified way. There is no sort of mess, and you don't need to break your heads on that part, right? And artificial intelligence and machine learning. So there are like many sort of predictor tools are there, and even if you see, there are something called as LLM and generative Gen AI and RAG. So all of these models or all of these concepts, like this is actually require a huge amount of space. If you take like around 5 years before, there is an AI is there, but it is very lighter thing. So image processing or text recognition or NLPs, right? So, but now if you see, there are like the people would have playing with the huge collection of data that is really, really huge. So at that point, like how the people can able to manage all the piece of all those data load, right? And that part, like they will be need a space where it can able to handle a large amount of data storage. There comes that SaaS, nothing but a cloud storage. So even AWS actually offering machine learning space that is called as AWS SageMaker, and even Azure is actually offering some space, Databricks, and there are many machine learning and AI related tools are there in the market. As well as if you see the open AI, right? So they're actually having a huge collection of data set. So that will be processed for the LLM. So at that point, like we will be have need to use the huge sort of GPUs in order to train those model. So SaaS is the place where you can able to do all sort of things, like at the term of data perspective. I'm not talking about the analysis and things, but if you need to train the huge amount of model and you have to handle them, then SaaS is the better place to do that. And increased emphasis on security compliances. So SaaS is actually providing a data security. So here comes that CrowdStrike thing. So why this CrowdStrike is actually impacting a huge amount of systems, like the people who are actually using the company systems, or the people actually using the university systems. So if they would have installed that CrowdStrike, they would have impacted. If not, they would have not impacted, right? So anyone knows like why this SaaS and CrowdStrike is connected? You can unmute your mic and you can also speak. I would like to hear from you. Sorry, I can't. It's in a full screen mode, so I can't able to.
Yeah, Mr. Karnagaran, you can repeat the question once more,
Yeah.
so that participants will be able to respond back.
Yes, sir. Yeah. So, like it's very simple. Like, how the people would have relating the SaaS and the CrowdStrike. Like, due to the SaaS technology, only the CrowdStrike is actually impacted. Anyone have any idea? It's not a one or two systems. Like globally, it's impacted. Especially the people who are actually using the CrowdStrike, so they would have impacted. And there is a one product. It's called as, I won't tell. So if you know that, you can feel free to tell so that we can discuss. So it will be more interactive thing, right?
Participants are encouraged to respond back to the query raised by the presenter. Now, in the meantime, you can move on to the next topic. The
Yeah.
participants will be able to respond.
Sure, sir. Yeah. Okay. So SaaS adoption strategies. This is all about the people who are actually working, as well as the working professionals or any startups. If they're actually dealing with the SaaS, they can take up these things. So you have to, before moving to SaaS, you need to understand the business needs. So how much sales you are actually receiving your product, and what kind of marketing things you are actually handling, and how much turnover you are making, right? So based on that, you can adopt to SaaS, because SaaS is actually kind of like it's not a very huge cost, but still if it is something like a startup, then it will consume a lot. So this is the most important strategies which you have to follow it. So This is the strategies which is actually followed in some sort of companies in the market. So that is what I have drafted. So assess business needs, evaluate vendors, and plan for deployment. So you have to evaluate your organization requirement and identify your SaaS solution that should be aligned with your goals and workflows. So for example, like if you see, there are some people who are actually working in the traditional technologies. They would not accept this SaaS. Do you know why? If you know, please post it on the chat. I'll read it after this session, and we can also discuss about that. So moving the people from on-prem to SaaS, it's actually a huge and very big deal, because we need to make the people to be understand what is the SaaS and why we are actually moving from on-prem to SaaS. Right? If you are, for example, if you're telling someone like, so SaaS is actually groundbreaking technology, which is a very trending one. Everyone is moving, so you can also move to SaaS, right? So it's not like that. It's not a kind of marketing gimmick. So it's kind of like you have to analyze a lot, like because this SaaS, once if you move, then your process and goals, everything will be in very streamlined. But at the time of moving from on-prem to SaaS, that is actually a huge big deal, because some people would have accept if it is SaaS, then technology wise everything will be differs, right? If it is on an on-prem, so you will be dealing with the Java or Python and any sort of technology, like there are many companies even using the Cobalt, right? So at that point, like there is no these languages, they don't have a compatibility of SaaS, right? In that case, like you have to educate your the people who are working on your organization. So and like you have to train the people before moving to this SaaS, like what is SaaS and why we are actually moving with this SaaS. And like it's not a kind of just a normal process, right? So that you have to think it. So that's what we have, I mentioned, like carefully evaluate your organization requirements and your goals as well as your workflows, right? And you have to evaluate your vendors. So thoroughly you have to make a research and compare the SaaS providers, consider factors such as functionality, scalability, security, and customer support. Yeah, the thing which I mentioned, customer support, that is really a very important thing. Especially the people would have impacted with the CrowdStrike. So they would have known, like many people, like the customer support is really very, very good. So the people who would have created the ticket, so they would have received an instant response, right? So like, yeah, the people who are actually moving with this SaaS, so they have to think of the factors, a kind of scalability first. And you can also make a comparison of one services with the another services before moving to SaaS. So that will be a kind of a good strategy. And everyone is good. Like I was not telling like he this service is okay, this service is okay. Not like that. Like everyone is unique in their own way. But you have to make some research on how you can minimize that SaaS setup cost, right? Or kind of like provisioning AWS or any sort of provisioning and infrastructure kind of thing, right? You have to make an evaluate on it. And deployment. So develop a comprehensive implementation strategy, including user training, data migration, and change management process. So this is something like you have to consider a most important thing, because training is mandatory. Data migration, you should have to do it, because whatever you are seeing it in the on-prem, that is a SQL code, just a SQL code. If it is something like a SaaS, everything will be in the form of JSON, right? So it's a kind of little technical, but this is what the harsh truth. So like data migration, you have to take care of it. And change management process, like you need to uh, just ensure that this change, like once if you're moving with the one change with the another change, then what will be the impact and things that you have to assess it, and how you will earn profit. So there are different peoples and different teams will be there in the organization, so they will be taking care of it. But this is the key strategies which all the people who would have following in the market ground, and the people who are actually from an kind of startup, so they can take this a kind of strategy to boost your business, I can say. Again, it's not a kind of word from a researcher or person. Like, I'm an just an analyst, that's it. Yeah. So selecting the right SaaS solution for your business. So you have to consider three things: functionality and future fit, vendor reputation and reliability, seamless integration and compatibility. So functionality and future fit. Functionality and future fit in sense like what I can tell. So if you are actually buying some sort of cloud, right? So I've already mentioned that each SaaS provider will be unique in their own way, right? So you have to analyze that which provider have your which provider is actually delivering the products which actually meets your business needs, right? So based on that, you have to choose the SaaS providers. So that's what I mentioned as functionality and feature fit. And you have to look for a solution that provide a necessary functionality to streamline your operations as well as the efficiency that you have discussed previously. And a vendor reputation and reliability, we need to assess the SaaS provider track record. It's just a simple thing like there are some SaaS providers are there like Salesforce, HubSpot, I can tell Atlassian, Zoom, Slack. There are many people are there like Grammarly, even Shopify. So based on your business need, you have to select the SaaS solution. So if you choose a SaaS, so SaaS they won't just provide you the infrastructure itself. So whatever your business need, based on that, they will be providing the sub product and sub integration. So which will actually help us you to boost your workflows and your streamline process in the business. Right? You have to choose the vendor with a proven history of deliverable and reliable, secure, and continuously improving solution to ensure the successful and sustainable partnership. Seamless integration and compatibility. Yeah, this is the most important thing while you're selecting a SaaS solution. So you have to check whether the people can able to integrate with any sort of third party applications which are actually having in your business need. For example, if you're having the payment gateway system, there are many APIs and there are like open sources there and license versions are there. So if you take that Razorpay integrations are available in some sort of website, and what else like even Google is also having their own APIs for this payment integrations. So even even Vista is also actually offering not a Visa or PayPal. Yeah, PayPal is actually having the integration things. So this is the part like you have to consider it. Like you're actually running a business and the people would are buying your product and they have to make a payment. So how they will make a payment in a virtual mode? So you have to do you have to have some sort of integration, right? So you need to check whether that integration and that use case will be met by your SaaS vendors or not, right? Yeah. Let's move on to next slide. Robust AI 256 encryption. So encryption I just taken as AES. So there are many sort of encryption that have taken care. So for that, you can just better you can buy some sort of cloud security system like CrowdStrike or some other people like even Kaspersky or Avast. Or there are many people were there in the market. I'm just naming them. But yeah. So you need to check what was your security principle. Like you need to be very sure how securely you're protecting the data, because while you're actually putting all your data into the third party system, then you have to make sure like what kind of security they're actually providing to you. So in that case, like each SaaS will comes with that AES 256 encryption. That is just which is help us you to safeguard your sensitive data like name, phone, email address, telephone, and your even if it's something which is having like a bank detail, then that is the most important case you have to consider about the security stuff. Multi-factor access control, like so SaaS is actually providing this multi-factor access control. So it means like you're actually running a university or you're actually buying some sort of ERP product, and there is a two thing which you will be having. One is for the university people and another one is for the student side thing. So you would like to provide some security layer on it, like the people who are actually from the student level, they have to have only this UI, and uh, they have to only handle this kind of uh, things which is posted by these two faculty, right? So at that part, like you can take this multi-factor access control. So there are many SSO configuration platforms are there like Okta, and even Google SSO is there. Yeah, so you have to choose what are the multi-factor access things where they, so it's a kind of single sign-on. So if you if you're actually visiting a new website and if you click the continue with Google or continue with Apple or continue with Facebook login, so it's just a piece of thing like which is running in the backend. Like they will be integrating with either Meta API, or if it is something like an Apple, then there will be an uh, developer documentation. If you go and find for the Apple, so they will be providing some sort of API integrations in it. So based on that, developer will build, and they will configure the SSO, right? And even the people can be assigned with the role. If the people who are actually having a role as a student, so student can able to see only this screen. If it is a faculty, then faculty can able to see only that screen. That's it. So this actually having a security layer which is possible in SaaS, and this is the most greatest feature in the SaaS, I can say. And reliable backup and disaster recovery. If something has happened, like your local machine is actually not working, and even that BSOD is coming up, and you can't able to access your local, that is fine. That's purely fine. That's okay. So because like someone is actually managing your data, and at that part, if something is actually breaking, then you have to consider that only. So SaaS is actually preventing a disaster, like it's actually promoting the disaster recovery and a reliable backup. So it will actually auto backup your things, right? So yeah, and even if I have missed the most important thing on the multi-factor access control. So like how many of you seen that if you are editing something in your website, there will be something like called as the user can able to have edit or view, or they can just uh, have full permission, like a kind of admin kind of thing. They can edit entire things. Uh, so have you seen those roles, like the people can able to view and they can able to edit it, and the people can able to do both view and edit, as well as like a kind of admin thing. So that is actually possible in multi-factor access control. Transparency, complaints, and auditing. So you have to make sure like whether you're setting something on SaaS thing. If it is on very bigger scale, then you have to make sure whether it's actually meeting the government regulations, as well as the how you're actually the data should be handled, and how secure the data is actually maintained, right? So this is the factors you have to consider it when you're actually moving with the SaaS. Supercharge your SaaS potential, unleash your SaaS efficiency, streamline your SaaS ecosystem, and negotiate your SaaS dominance. So these are all the kind of SaaS potential which you can supercharge them. Like you can regularly audit your SaaS tools and ensure your team are kind of maximizing the potential, identifying the underperforming apps and provide the tailored training to the boost productivity and return on investment. So for example, if you're using one sort of tool which is actually the performance wise which is not good, then you can just speak with your SaaS providers, and you can also provide your feedback there. So based on that, they will work on, and they will improve the performance. So this is something like you can audit those tools, and you can also take a log, and you can also process with them, and streamline your SaaS ecosystem. So how many of you heard of this term ecosystem? Let me exit from full screen mode. Yeah, you can unmute, and you can also say like how many of you heard of this ecosystem. It's more popular nowadays. Not in nowadays, like it was very popular from the older days, like around 5 or 6 years, 4 to 5 years. Yeah,
Like Apple ecosystem, Samsung's, like that, sir.
exactly, exactly. You're correct. Yeah. So here this ecosystem, like yeah, the one. What's your name, brother?
Vignesh, sir.
Vignesh. Yeah, what actually Vignesh mentioned, that is right. So Apple is actually having this ecosystem, not only in Apple, like the people who are actually having this SaaS thing, so they can use this ecosystem. It's nothing but like, for example, if you are having an Apple phone or iOS, and you're also having a MacBook with you, then you can just mirror your screen from your mobile to the lab, right? So that is what the ecosystem. So like you can connect the different medium of devices under one cloud. That is what the ecosystem that is actually offered by the SaaS. So that is the bigger thing, like when you're actually thinking of this ecosystem, if you're building something with a kind of ecosystem, then that is a huge pain, because like if you are actually using a browser, if you are actually being the browser in the PC, then that will be in a different dimension. If you're moving to the uh, mobile phone, not a mobile phone, like an Android kind of thing, then that will be in a different dimension, right? So in that case, like you can't like in that case, like you have to be very sure, like how standard your website is there, right? So in that case, like if you're having an ecosystem, then that is fine. Like everything, like OS is yours, so you will actually have an control of it. Yeah, that's all about the streamline your SaaS ecosystem. Let me switch to full screen mode. Negotiate SaaS dominance. Leverage your organization scale and commitment to negotiate the best possible terms with the SaaS provider. And secure game-changing discounts, flexible pricing, include service level agreements. So this is something like actually applicable. Like this is the thing which is discussed with your SLA, service level agreement people. So that is nothing but a kind of document which is provided to the higher level folks to check how much instances actually required, and what will be the usage, and how many requests, and how many the total count of traffic will be there in the site, right? So that will be present under this SaaS dominance. So then like you can also offer some sort of discounts. So this three things will be covered, like if you are actually building a kind of SaaS, right? So and discounts and flexible pricing in sense, for example, I'm providing a SaaS with the price of this. In market the SaaS price is this. So you have to be a kind of you have to make some differentiation on your price, or like it's not a kind of differentiation I can see. Like it should be something like a flexible thing, like everyone can able to afford to that, right? So it's something like that, like you uh, in a simple term I can say, okay, let's take this. If you are buying something with the price of 50 rupees in market, uh, there are something with the same product with the price of like 100 or 120 or 200 like that, and there is a product which is having a count of like 50 or 60 rupees. So definitely if the people who is actually having a huge use case, though, they will move with the higher price. So if they're actually for a smaller business, then they can opt for what they actually require, right? So there is a huge difference is there, right? For example, if you are buying SaaS with the $110 for your small business or smaller scale business, and you're actually having very less amount of request in that, then there will be most of there will be no resource optimization has happened at that part. So you have to make sure to provide the SaaS to everyone. It's not about only the people who are actually having the ERP thing. Even if they're actually requesting for some sort of demos or any sort of sandbox environment, so that part you can have a separate pricing level and you can deliver those products, right?
Yeah, just to simplify whatever you said, I think I would like to add on. I mean, based on the business requirement and based on the budget, same product is available across. That's what you're attempting to say, right? I mean,
Correct,
it'll
sir.
be in minuscule form or it'll be in a, bigger, I mean, what to say,
In a large
potentially,
scale.
yeah, in a large scale or small scale, but the same product is available depending based on the business need and business budget as well. Yeah, go ahead, please.
Yes, sir. Thank you. Yeah. So the future of SaaS, like already we are actually seeing the many sort of things which is actually shown in this slide, like cloud integration, intelligent automation, mobile first experience, and let me close this, mobile first experience and cybersecurity advancements. So cloud integrations, like this is already there. Like even many companies actually handling this cloud integrations. If you're looking for payment integration, there is a company, and if you're looking for your sales integration, there are many CRMs are there. And yeah, if you're looking for any sort of logistic thing, there is a cloud integrations are available. So yeah, this is all about a future of SaaS and intelligent automation. Like there are still people working on the automation side, like how to automate entire cloud process. Even already there are some scripts the people would have writing it, and they will be automating the cloud process. But it's a kind of internal stuff. But still, it's in a development phase. You can say like many companies actually working on this. If you, I'm not telling this, like if you scroll down the LinkedIn, like, you will get to know more things on that. Mobile first experience. So SaaS is actually prioritize the mobile optimized infrastructure and mobile centric functionality to support a remote and ongoing the workforce. So if you see, there are some application which would be used only on the web version in the PC, not even in mobile phones. But now after the SaaS comes into the picture, like everyone is using their website, like especially the Snow, as well as the Snow is nothing but the service now, and uh, Jira, or like GitHub. So this is something like which is a huge stuff which they would have improved. And cybersecurity advancements, like even CrowdStrike is actually mentioned about that they're actually working on this term, like cybersecurity advancements, in one of the LinkedIn posts. And even in their website also they would have mentioned about under the root cause analysis. So they're actually advancing the security things, and they'll be protecting the data. And it's a something like uh, endpoint detection. That is what they're actually doing it. That is, if you have some time, please go ahead and read those blogs. It's really helpful. I'll also drop that in the chat, right? Uh, okay, so with this I conclude the presentation. This is just an answering to your questions. So I literally appreciate, I have not sure whether these questions would have asked from the uh, students or working professional, but all of these questions are really amazing. Like when I actually studied in my college days, I have not explored this much, but literally, yeah, this is good. Okay, so we can start from first, Docker and its complete usage. So may I know who actually asked this question? If they're actually in this meeting, I was really wanted to see them, whether he's a student or working professional. Just curious. Anyone? I guess they are not in the meeting. Wait. Okay. Yeah. So yeah. Sorry, sir.
Somebody's talking. Wait. Let us. Somebody is about to say something.
Yeah. 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 Please go ahead.
Mr.
So
Srinivasan.
what is the Docker?
Sorry.
Sir, what is the Docker?
Docker. Okay. So I'll just tell you.
I don't know, sir. Sorry.
Okay. Yeah. No problem. Let me explain you. So you're actually running. Okay. Let me tell you. You're running the operating system in your PC, right? Only one operating system you're running it. Correct. If you need to run a multiple operating system, then you can go with the Docker. Docker is nothing but it's a containerization. So it's basically a ship which actually holds a multiple containers in it. It's a kind of it's a kind of platform where you can host a multiple cloud instance, as well as your VMs too. So I was actually working on the integration side. I have not explored on this. So this is actually my functional knowledge which I'm conveying to them, right? And yeah. So this is the explanation for Docker. It's actually a platform that automates the deployment of application, which is a kind of lightweight. Like your system will feel very lightweight, I can say, and it has a portable containers, and it has a dependencies, so you didn't need to worry of everything. Like once if you install a Docker, then you can directly have your VMs in that, and you can have multiple operating systems in it. Like you can use both Linux as well as Windows in one OS. Sorry, one PC.
Docker question was actually asked by a professor of KGISL.
Oh, okay, awesome, sir. Yeah. So this Docker is actually simplifies the development, testing as well as deployment by allowing an application to run reliably regarding of where they need to deploy it, whether it's a local machine, virtual machines, or cloud server. So you can install Docker in any machines, whether it's a local or virtual or any sort of thing. That doesn't matter. But if you're handling with the Docker, you need to have a technical expertise on it, because it will actually have your entire infrastructure in it. So it requires a huge technical stuff. So the tech stack which is involved in it, just a piece of like Linux, cloud stuff like AWS. The people would have already worked on AWS, Kubernetes. And that's it. That's enough to manage the Docker. Let me switch.
So what is the use of Docker?
Okay. So like yeah, you're in college or you're a working professional?
College, sir.
College. Okay. So at college, you won't be dealing with the many sort of applications at one time, right? It means like everything will be hosted in one centralized server. So from there, they will be managing the system. But if you are taking in an industrial use case, like for example, we will be handling like multiple products on it. Let me share my screen. Let me 1 second. Yeah. So for example, we will be working on SQL, as well as we will be working on the JavaScript, and we will be working at same time with the Linux kernel, not a kernel, I can say the Linux terminal. Yeah. So if I need to work on the Linux terminal, then how I can able to do it? That is a different OS, and Windows is different OS, right? So it's a kind of like I can directly switch those OS and I can work there. And even if you would like to use the Docker, and like Docker, you can also install the OS images. OS images nothing but a kind of virtualized OS. You can install them, and you can use as per your requirement. So if you need to work on Linux as well as in Windows simultaneously, if you're actually working on something like that, then definitely this Docker is really a helpful thing. The people who is actually working on the cloud team, so they will know this importance of Docker. So if you see many of the companies actually working on Docker, it's something like as I mentioned, so a ship which actually handles the multiple containers in it. I
So
hope
is
I
Docker
cleared.
open? Sorry, sir.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah.
Sir,
Please go ahead. Sorry.
so is Docker a open source technology, or we have to pay some amount to them, sir?
It's again like if you need to have a limited number of like you will be having a multiple replicas nothing but like multiple OS you will be working on it, then you can you have to pay some amount, right? Because they are also having their own infrastructure to manage it. So that is what. But there are, it's not a fully open source, I can say, Docker.
Sir, as a college student, how can I use Docker to build some projects in my code, like web application and like that, sir?
Okay. So with this Docker, uh, I I heard of this term. I seen the people would have worked on Docker, but I have not worked on Docker. So that is fine, no problem. I'll drop my LinkedIn. I'll also share some of the Git repositories and official documentations on Docker. We can go through. We can learn together. Right? May I know your name, please?
Vignesh, sir.
Yeah. Okay.
Sir, Docker is the only one platform to use, sir, or another platform is there also?
Yeah, there is something called as Oracle VM. So where you can create your own VMs and you can use it. That is little license thing, and you have to pay some amount. But Docker is something like you need to have some technical expertise on it. That's it. Shall I move on to next question?
That would be better.
Yeah.
We have a couple of other questions. So
Okay. Yeah. So cloud-based roles on IT company. Okay. Let me tell you, cloud engineer, cloud operation, and senior cloud. Senior cloud engineer, cloud architect, even solution architect also. If you are actually working on SaaS related thing, then solution architect is also a kind of role in an IT company. That is a very experienced role, I can say. So if you're starting from entry, then it depends, like based on each and every company's requirement and their policies, the role name will differ. But I can say like cloud engineer. Yeah, cloud engineer is the base, or it's a fresher level of thing, a ground level. Yeah. How cloud transform the business? Yeah, that I actually covered on the slide, right? I mean, so you can have a scalability, flexibility, and so with that, like if your application is, in fact, like you are not actually having any sort of downtime, that is a biggest success of your business. So many people would have visit your website, and they can also like someone would have a thing like, okay, so we can buy this, and they can change their mode, like, okay, so we can buy later. That part, like you can also uh, design the UI something like that, and you can improve your profits. And even like you if you have something like search engine optimization which is embedded with this SaaS thing, then yeah, that your business will be in a skyrocket. How to improve the technical skills? So may I know who actually has this question? Uh, if they are actually in the meet, I'll just provide you a kind of roadmap or something like that. Because like we are actually running out of time, I think so.
So please proceed with the answers as we are running short of time. Instead of calling down people, no, it would be
That
great
was
if you
asked by a professor of VSB College.
Okay. Yes, sir. So how to improve technical skills? So technical skills, you have to consider your skill set as your assert. That is what your actual assert. Even like if you're having a strong skill set, then you can able to survive on any ground. So I can say if you are stepping on the IT, then you can cover the basics like as in college, like they will be covering C++. If it is a front end, then they will be covering HTML, CSS, JavaScript, React.js, Node.js. I'm not sure React.js or Node.js, but JavaScript, until that they will be covering it. So this is the technical skills, and whatever skills you are actually seeing it, or whatever things you're actually saying on the especially that LinkedIn post. So you can try to learn of those things. And what I would recommend, so from my experience, like too much of learning is also nothing. So like whatever the groundbreaking technology which is having, you can learn one technology very stronger, then based on that you can start your career, right? If you are actually stepping on the SaaS, then what is the SaaS, then why the SaaS is actually used, and what is the technology which is involved in the SaaS, right? So like the way you can start your journey. And learning technologies which is very older one is actually not a good thing, I would say, because the world is evolving. And if you see if you go and visit some LinkedIn post, or if you go and search some things on website, then you will see like a lot of technical things which is coming up, right? So you have to uh, like it's just a thing, like you have to make yourself committed to this world, IT world. So that's it. So technical skills is required, as well as soft skills also is more required than technical skills. Because if you're once you done with your college days, that is what I have learned. So once you're done with your college days, then your soft skills is most mandatory thing. rather than technical. Technical everyone will have, every people can able to learn it, but soft skill is the most important thing for the survival in the ground, IT ground. How to make world class product to be marketed, that all depends upon like your how much you're actually investing in your business, and how much how what was your weightage on the idea, or how you're actually starting your business, or who's your target audience, and what is your marketing strategy, right? So just by implementing SaaS, it won't be not a kind of boost. So you have to think of the certain things like what was the actual methodologies, which is something like a traditional approach like marketing and things, but marketing is more required in the business, any sort of business. How SaaS overcome IaaS, PaaS, and transforming business, infrastructure as a service and platform as a service. Without this, we don't have a SaaS. So if you take a Gmail, then in that Gmail also there will be an infrastructure as a service is there and platform as a service is there. So infrastructure as services will be dealt by the people who are working in the development side, and platforms is slightly the people who are actually a kind of analyst or the one. So without a thing of IAS and pass SaaS, it's not possible, you can say. Because like if I talk about infrastructure, so like your VMs, your hypervisor, your uh, what I can tell that clusters, so everything will be a kind of infrastructure and platform. So if you are building something, for example, if you're building a cloud thing, or you're actually having a RDP, like a remote desktop thing, so in that part, like you will be having one sort of URL which is provided by the CSPs, right? So in that case, that is a platform, like the place where you're actually customizing things, that is a platform. So without an infrastructure and pass, SaaS is actually going to transform your business. And even like transforming business in sense, yeah, SaaS is good, but if you're actually having if you're having a strong base on your traditional technology, traditional technological things, right? So you would like to move from your traditional to modern way, or you need to improve the faster things, then you can move with the SaaS. So definitely I would say so IAS and pass is required. This actually I covered it like zero downtime. That is the key strategy of thing. Like if you're saying something as a SaaS, then there should be no zero downtime. That is what you have to think of. Like if you're actually starting a business, or any startup who are actually having this. This is what actually happening in the market, right? So if something is actually not working, then suddenly the ground is actually turning into heat. So yep. And this SaaS transformation journey will take an year, but once this transformation is done, you will be enjoying that fruit, right? SaaS transform business by providing a ready-to-use software solutions, and we can also eliminate the need of companies to manage the underlying infrastructure. So you can just reduce your cost by managing the infrastructures and platforms and things. So if you think of the earlier days, like the people, if you see like some website which is hosted in some other cloud, and some payment gateway things which is by some other people, right? So if it is not a SaaS, then we should need to pay for each and every people. But if it is in a SaaS, then if you're actually approaching one SaaS people, that is fine. So they will have all the sort of integrations, and they will take care of things. So it just a minimal setup is required. And it also reduces the infrastructure complexity, cost, deployment time. And it was also like improve your scalable, and which help us to provide your software in very up to date manner, right? Yep. Yeah, okay. This is the most important thing which I really wondering, like people would have asked this, because I started about learning Salesforce. That Salesforce actually make me to push towards the SaaS, to start my journey on SaaS as a analyst. So who is actually asking this, ask this question? I was really curious to know them.
Hi, This is me, Nimalan. Actually, I asked the question.
Awesome, bro. Yeah. So if you think of the Salesforce, then you are at the right place. Like in the Salesforce, there is something called as Lightning Web Components, and there are many technical stuffs are there. So that is a part. But it can able to if you step into Salesforce, so they're actually providing the CRM, and they are actually providing the database, and they're actually providing the cloud thing, and there is some sort of integrations too. So this Salesforce is actually a good thing to learn. If you are in a college state, then you can explore many things. So for the Salesforce, there is separate certifications are there. Yeah, sorry.
Yeah, sorry to interrupt you. Actually, I wanted to ask. I'm college student pursuing my master's in computer applications.
Okay.
So what my question is, I'm thinking on Salesforce, taking a career on Salesforce, and I think it's related to CRM. And I
Okay.
tried surfing on the internet. So I'm not sure how to frame a road for the Salesforce landing in a proper job. So, if
Okay.
possible, could you please help on it?
Sure, bro. Yeah. I'll be dropping my LinkedIn at the end of this Q&A, so you can connect with me anytime, because this is something like a very huge stuff about the Salesforce. So this Salesforce, like many people would have done this Salesforce, and they'll be posting some sort of certifications. They would have done this and this on the LinkedIn post. But what was the actual use case of the Salesforce? So this Salesforce actually providing the CRM at a very like I can tell, in a competitive price, and their services is very good, and like it's something like you can able to get everything under the Salesforce cloud. If you are actually going with the Salesforce cloud, then you can integrate your service now things, even Atlas and related stuff. There are many sort of integrations we can go with the Salesforce. And if you are would like to embark your journey on Salesforce, then you are at the right place. You can start with the Salesforce. It's really a good thing. And even like this Salesforce actually have some sort of things like platform developer 1 2 or something like that. So that is the job role. And if you need to know more about Salesforce, you can connect with me on LinkedIn. So due to time crunch, I'm just running off.
Yeah, that
Thanks.
would be
Sure.
better, Mr. Karnagaran. You have given a lot of information about SaaS, and you have taken time to answer most of the questions.
Yeah.
And in your presentation itself, you have covered almost all the questions. In a way, the presentation is more tailor-made. And as you
Yeah.
said, it will be better if all the participants get connected with you through LinkedIn. So let this be the last question. And after
Yeah.
that, the other interactions can happen off the stage. Thank you.
Sure, sir. Yeah. Yeah. Is a SaaS a better choice in view of CloudStrike type incidents? Definitely. So SaaS, yeah, without a SaaS, you can't able to handle things in this faster moving world, because if you see, like you are actually managing a huge product, right? So there is a huge vulnerability which is detected, and that vulnerability is actually leaking your data. What you would do? Either if someone is actually hacking your systems or something, they will demand some sort of amount, and they will try to get some amount, right? Instead of that, you can move with something like a SaaS security product like CrowdStrike, or there are many sort of SaaS DB protection softwares are available in the market. So you can you if you search on the Google, like you can able to get the list of uh, tools, right? Okay, so CloudStrike. So this CloudStrike is actually having something called as Falcon sensor. This Falcon sensor is actually like the thing would be like whatever endpoint you're searching. For example, if you're searching in Google and you're actually clicking something like which is the best place to go out, or what was the best food item that we would recommend in this place, then if you click that, it can able to provide a lot of suggestions based on the ranking, right? So in that time, if you click something, then definitely I can say that you will be redirected to many pages, and at point there will be something is a vulnerable thing and there will be no vulnerable, right? So at that point, even just you will be browsing it, you will have a malware into your system. You don't know, like you won't directly get involved in that vulnerability side, but Google actually directs, like it just a redirection stuff, that's it. So again, like if you're not only Google, like any sort of website, if you're using it, that is what happening. So at the time of redirection, like so like if there is a vulnerability, then it will redirect it to that particular site and it will create an exploitation, right? So in order to avoid that, CrowdStrike actually introduced something called as endpoint detection. So this endpoint detection, what it actually does, so if you're clicking something, that URL, so that URL even monitored, and they will encrypt that URL, and they will once this actually cross your Falcon sensor and it receives your response into your system, then it will be something a kind of very protective way. So how I, like this is a normal use case. If you are actually having something like an API or something like that, then definitely it can able to route to many sort of web servers, right? Even if it is in a private cloud, there will be an huge risk is there, especially, right? I can say like hackers are everywhere in nowadays world. So like that is what CloudStrike is actually providing, that endpoint detection thing. So the actual problem what happened, like they are having their product in SaaS, it's a cloud, right? So they will be pushing the regular updates on it. So on that time, there is something called as channel file. So on the channel file, there is a separate serial number is there, that is 291.sys CrowdStrike Falcon sensor file. So that will actually have a logic of null pointer exception. So I don't know how many would have read that CrowdStrike root cause analysis page. So this source is actually from there. So like
Mr.
that.
Karnagaran.
Sorry, sir.
Yeah, Mr. Karnagaran, as discussed, the elaborate information can be given offline to the people
Okay.
through your LinkedIn post. And really, it was wonderful. And
Yeah.
let this be the last question. That is the one that you are currently answering. Is SaaS a better choice?
Yes,
And then
sir.
we'll
Yeah.
go on to the next. Thank you.
Yes, yes, yeah. So yeah, this is all about that. Like due to time crunch, like if you would like to know more about that, you can directly connect with me on LinkedIn. Even you can also connect me through WhatsApp too. So WhatsApp, I'll share it via LinkedIn, right? Yeah. Right. Okay, so this is actually I would have explained on the previous slide, right? Training for freshers to understand this as effectively. And common Q&As, what kind of certification, that I have has a slide, so we can discuss on the next slide, right? And this are all we have discussed, that just a chit chat. So let me show you that there are some certification which will actually make you the lift and shift on your career. That is something. 1 second, let me. Are you hearing any background noises from my side, sir?
Nothing. No background
Okay.
noise. You are loud and clear.
Sure. Okay. Yeah. Certification that provide lift and shift on the career, right? So at that point, like there is something called a CCSP, that is a king of all the cloud certifications. Like once if you did this, then you will have a strong knowledge on the cloud. This is quite costlier. I can say like up to $750, I guess. And you can also take the re-examinations. For that also you have to pay something like $150, I guess. So this CCSP is a well-known certifications, and which is a kind of tough certification to crack them. So this is the crown for all the cloud certifications. And after that, like AWS certifications are there. So like there are something like developer, cloud architect or associate. There are many sort of certifications are there. So I provided the LinkedIn. I also share this slide with you so that you can utilize these resources. Azure certification. So in this Azure certifications, like again, like you can have that Microsoft Administrator, AZ 900. There are many sort of certifications are like that. You can utilize them to boost your career, right? So many people would have told that certifications, too much of completing certification actually won't help on career. It's not like that. What kind of certification which you're actually doing it, and what was your actual career path on it, and how was it is used in your career boosting. So that three things you have to consider it. And Oracle Cloud Infrastructure, if you are more interested to know about Oracle things, then yeah, you can go ahead with it. So this is something called as roadmap.sh. If you go with the site, there is an AI embedded thing. Like it's a best example for the uh, like AI which is embedded on the cloud thing. So this roadmap.sh is the platform where you can just put your prompt. So based on that, it generates a roadmap. I'll share this link on the chat. Right? Yeah. So feel free to get in touch. I'm open to discuss you with all. This is my LinkedIn profile. Let me copy this and I'll drop on the uh, Google chat. Right. Thanks for showing up, people. It was really a nice and wonderful session. So any questions, feel free to open up. So before that, I just like to express my grateful to the SA chapter Coimbatore for a wonderful opportunity for this presentation. And thank you all attendees for participating in the webinar. Yeah. Yes, sir. Yeah. With this, I conclude my presentation. And any questions? Yeah, please go ahead.
Thank you, Mr. Karnagaran. We are moving to the next segment, wherein I would like to invite our secretary, Professor Girisen, to propose vote of thanks.
Thank you, Maharajan. Is it clear?
Yes, sir.
It has been a wonderful evening to all the participants for this webinar on how software as a service is revolutionizing the IT on the eve of our India's Independence Day. On behalf of the Computer Society of India, Coimbatore chapter, I would like to extend my gratitude to our esteemed guest of this evening, Mr. Karunagaran from Elution, Bangalore. We were able to gather more insights on the topic of the day, particularly on how SaaS is used to transform businesses from the perspective of an analyst. Out of the 1.5 hours what you have done, you have taken away almost 45 minutes in answering the question and answers. That seems that there are people who are more interested in this topic. Many thanks to Karnagaran for joining this evening with us. My sincere thanks to all the participants who are heterogeneous. We have teachers, we have students, we have professionals who had joined this evening. Around 60 plus participants were there. Thanks to one and all for accepting our invitation. And all of us, all of you continue to support CSI in moving the Coimbatore chapter into more heights. Thanks to all the participants, to those who have asked the questions as well. I thank our chairman, Mr. Saravd Kumar sir, for offering the welcome address, and also our vice chairman for being with us. Many thanks to Dr. K.S. Magarasan sir, the MC member of CSI, for all the coordinations that was rendered for this evening's webinar. Special thanks to our office admin, Mr. Durvesh, in making this webinar an eventful one, and all the services that were associated with the smooth conduct of this webinar. Thanks to you as well. At this juncture, I wish everyone a very happy 78th Independence Day in remembrance of the martyrs. Jai Hind to all of you. Once again, I thank each and all of you for the participation. Thank you all.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you, sir.
Now,
Happy Independence Day, sir.
right. Thank you very much. Now it's time to move on to the announcements desk, where our chairman will be, sharing some of the important information about the forthcoming events.
Thank you very much, one and all, for taking time away from your busy, hectic schedule and joining the session. Please stay tuned, because every fortnight, that is every second Wednesday and fourth Wednesday, we are having interesting sessions, online webinars. Second Wednesday by subject matter experts, either from academia or from industry, and fourth Wednesday by enthusiastic, passionate students who want to share knowledge with the community. So please feel free to connect with us. And if you are a student and if you want to share something interesting to the community and which is going to be useful, please do connect with us, and we will surely provide a wonderful opportunity for you at a national level, wherein even people from abroad, outside India, they are also joining. So please stay tuned, and we look forward for your continuous support in all our future endeavors. Thank you.